Come on. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with you, computer?
Are you okay?
I'm just frustrated because it's not working. I'm trying to upload something and it's just taking forever.
It sounds like you're really frustrated. Maybe you should just take a minute, put it aside, and take a minute to take a deep breath.
I'll just walk away from it.
Wow. Maybe today's lesson will be really good for you. You can take a deep breath and center and try to focus on the good. It seems like you were really frustrated and focusing on what you couldn't do.
Yes, okay. We can do that.
All right. Our normal opening is with the offertory blessing. So are you ready for that? You ready to take a deep breath? Take a deep breath before you start this.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
So hold your blessing in your hands, and divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. Alright, so today's lesson is it is all about words and speaking our truth. So we work on speaking our truth with that computer.
Yes, we do.
Alright, so let's go ahead and say the Lord's Prayer, and then we'll talk about what the next key is. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, so our first key was with the first two phrases, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And then we did thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So what is it today? Give us this day our daily bread. It's going to be our first phrase that we're going to figure out what that means. So what do you think it means to give us this day our daily bread?
Could it be to give us what we need for the day, to ask for what we need?
Yeah, I think it's God giving us what we need both emotionally and physically. Sometimes we need food to nourish our bodies, and sometimes we just need insight. So yeah, just giving us what we need for our daily life. And
So for example, with the computer, he's giving me peace for the day.
and trusting that God is in control and that you will get it done. Maybe just putting it away will make it go quicker.
Okay. The next one is forgiving our trespasses. What do you think trespasses is?
So, some people say this prayer a little differently. Some people say it with debts instead of trespasses. And so it really just means to, the things we did wrong. And we're saying, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespassed against us. So it's like, forgive us of our wrongs and for the wrongs other people did, right? And sometimes, do you ever find that it's harder to forgive yourself than to forgive others? You get really frustrated with yourself, mainly with your computer.
Yes.
And your inability to do something, it's like, oh, I could do blank, but you're frustrated because you can't do it.
Yes. So it kind of blocks my mind to see the good in it.
Yeah, and so when we say forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, it's about us forgiving others and forgiving ourselves. And to let go of that attachment. Sometimes we move through life saying, oh, well, I can't do that. Because last time I did that, it went really wrong, and so I can't do that. Instead of trying again, right? So we have to let go of those things.
Okay.
And then what's our last phrase?
Forgive those who trespassed against us.
Right? So we just talked about that one. What's the one that comes right after that? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So what do you think that means?
Could it be sometimes like when you see something that you're really interested in, you want to touch, but it says do not touch? Would that be something leading us into temptation?
That could be. I think also sometimes it's just tempting to fall into our old habits of yelling at our computers instead of using our mindfulness techniques. So like this today, our mindfulness technique is going to be blowing worries out for our older friends, and for our younger friends it's going to be centering in peace. And so we can use those techniques when we're frustrated instead of getting angry and letting that out. So I think temptation can be, yes, touching something, but it can also just be the temptation to like do our old habits and things that we know aren't really helpful. But it could also be, you know, how often do you see something that somebody else has and you're like, oh, if only I had the PlayStation 4, or if only I had that nice camera that had the perfect mic on it, then I wouldn't be stressing, or if only I had the faster internet that would let me upload the videos. And so sometimes our temptation is to think that we don't have what we need, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have it. We just maybe need to think outside the box, right? Maybe we don't have it at our house, or maybe what we have at our house might be better in some ways. Like maybe somebody has a PlayStation 4, but we have a really loving family, and maybe they don't have that, or maybe we have really great friends and maybe they don't have really great friends, and so all they do is play, so we have to look at what we have all the way around.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And so our next line is?
That's it for today.
Oh, okay.
So our key today is kind of big. It's kind of big, but we're going to focus on words, because we're going to talk about how, our words affect everything. And so our words can be not so nice about ourselves. We can be not so nice about other people. And that can be a trespass. And that can be something that we're tempted to do. Sometimes it's tempting to go, oh yeah, she's just rude, I don't really like her.
So our first word would be to realize what we're saying.
Right. And to realize that God is in everyone, and we have to look for that. And everyone and everything, even your computer that's frustrating.
So we forgive the trespasses.
So we have to realize and let it go and forgive it. And so that, because if we hold on to things, we can't move forward. So we don't want to hold on to things and stay stuck. That wouldn't be fun. All right.
Okay.
So now it's time for our meditation and mindfulness. All right, so for today, our opening meditation mindfulness technique is going to be bubbles. And so I invite you to sit with your spine straight. So we're going to sit mindfully with our spine straight, eyes closed, and we're going to just take a deep breath, and we're going to imagine that we have a bubble wand in our hand. And I want you to take a deep breath and imagine that you're holding a bubble wand and you're blowing through it. And as you take your next deep breath, I want you to imagine your worry. And picture what it looks like. And blow your worry out into your bubble wand. And imagine the bubble is formed. And it floats away and pops, disappearing. Now take another a deep breath in. And picture that worry lowered away. Each time, imagining a bubble with the image of that worry floating along, then popping and disappearing. And you can do this over and over again for the same worry, a different one. Until you feel ready to move on with your day. Now, you guys have actual bubbles in your activity for the opening activity. So you could actually blow some of your worries away in a real bubble. So you take a deep breath, picture that worry, blow it away, and watch it pop till every single bubble has popped. And you can keep going until you feel ready. Now, make sure you save some of your bubbles for your opening activity. So now that we have let our worries go with bubbles, and in the pre-K class you guys have centered with peace.
Yes, creating peace in our hearts.
Now we're gonna see what it's like to spread words. And so sometimes we spread words of kindness and sometimes we don't. But so today we're gonna blow bubbles and try to catch them and put them back in. And so if you have younger friends at home, maybe the parents can help with blowing the bubbles, and you can try to catch one on your finger, or you can do it yourself. So we're gonna try to blow these bubbles and catch them and put the whole bubble back in the tube.
And if you want, as you're blowing out, you can say whatever peaceful words or kind words that you want to put out there in the universe. Love. Oops, mine popped. There you go.
Joy.
Creativity.
Oh, mine are splashing everywhere when I try to put them back in.
Yes. This is kind of hard. They're not going in. Ah. I think mine, a lot of mine are popping before I put them in. Are you having any luck, someone?
I'm getting part of the bubble back in, and then sometimes it sticks here, and then when I push it in, it pops and goes on the outside. I'm not getting, look at how much I have left. I don't have very much bubbles left. It doesn't look like much of the bubbles are going back in, even for the ones that I catch. I've caught a lot, but they're not going back in.
Oh. Mine popped before I blow them out.
Yeah, I'm not getting much back in. So how do you think this is like letting our words out into the universe?
Well, I think if it's a good word, it's fine for it to stay out there. But if they're kind of mean words, I don't know. It's kind of hard to take them back, right?
So much like our words, we have to be impeccable with our words. When we use words and then we try to take them back, it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And so what we say has a lot of power.
It sure does.
Our words are powerful. And I know sometimes some of us were told sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you. And we know that's not true.
Yes.
Words can hurt. And so we have to be really careful with the words that we choose to put out in the universe, whether they're about ourselves or about other people.
Yeah. So think good words, but share your peaceful hearts, and all will be good.
And just think before you speak.
Yes.
All right. So today's reading for elementary is going to be No Excuses by Dr. Wayne Dyer with Kristina Tracy. How what you say can get in your way. And it's illustrated by Stacy Heller Budnick. Ever since I was born, I have loved sea turtles. I drove my family crazy. Everyone wondered why I loved sea turtles so much. When I lived on a farm, they asked, why not cows? Why not pigs? Why not chickens? All these animals are great, but it was sea turtles that I loved, and I was determined to see a real live one. Here I am on my first trip to the aquarium. Boy, did I learn a lot that day. Not only did I see my first live sea turtle, but I found out that they are an endangered species. They need our help if they are going to survive. I decided right then and there to devote my life to sea turtles. And I met the perfect person to help me, Dr. Tortuga. Dr. Tortuga is a scientist, a marine biologist. She is an expert on sea turtles, and her job is to study and protect them. I wanted to be just like her. I started visiting her whenever I could. I was very excited. I told everyone that I was going to be a marine biologist and save the sea turtles. My teacher said, wow, you have to be pretty smart to do that. Science doesn't really seem like your best subject. The lady at the shoe store said, that will take a long time. Are you sure you want to study that much? Mom told me, you know, we might not have the money to send you to college. If this is something you want, you may need to do it on your own. Grandpa said, we are a family of farmers, and that is what we have always been. Your dad sure would be disappointed. Soon I started to think that becoming a marine biologist wasn't such a good idea. I sat down and made a list. Reasons not to become a marine biologist. I'm not smart enough. It will take a long time. It is too hard. My family will be disappointed. It will cost too much. I went to visit Dr. Tortuga at the aquarium. I told her that I wouldn't be coming by anymore. I showed her my list. Well, she said, this is nothing but a list of excuses. Excuses are just words that stop you from doing what you want, being what you want, and having what you want. For example, you may want to be a marine biologist. You've heard lots of opinions from people and now you feel like there are things standing in the way of your goal. When you find yourself with a list of excuses like this, it's time to ask yourself some important questions. Why am I making an excuse? People make excuses for all kinds of things. Excuses give us a reason not to do things that seem hard or scary. Making excuses can cause you to miss out on a lot in life. Where did the excuse come from? You might want to blame excuses on your parents, teachers, and friends. But no matter what anyone else says, there is only one person an excuse comes from, and that is you. Why? Because only you can choose to use the excuse or not. Is the excuse true? When you say something like, it is too hard to become a marine biologist, or my family will be disappointed, do you know these things are true? Are you 100% sure that it will be hard? The people will be disappointed? Of course you don't. The only way you will know is to do it and find out for yourself. How can I get rid of excuses? Now you know where excuses come from, why you make them, and how to find out if they are true. This way you can spot an excuse the minute it comes up and use what you've learned to stop the excuse in its tracks. It's up to you. No more excuses. Excuses be gone. Go for it. To make or not to make excuses is a choice you have every day. Now here is another choice. You can throw away this list and make a promise to yourself that you will not let excuses get in your way. Without excuses, you are free to be anything you want to be. When I went to bed that night, I thought of everything Dr. Tortuga had said. As I slept, I dreamed I was swimming with a giant sea turtle. A whole school of baby turtles swam behind me, and I was surrounded by all the beautiful creatures of the sea. It was the best feeling ever. When I woke up, I knew that being a marine biologist was the one thing I wanted to do more than anything in the world, and that would not let excuses get in the way. I got up and made a new list. No more excuses. I am smart. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I will find a way to pay for college. I am not afraid to take a chance. I kept this list and read it every day. When I was doing homework and taking tests, I told myself I am smart, and I believed it. When I was working in the snack bar, cleaning windows and caring for dolphins to earn money for college, I reminded myself that I was doing this to make my dream come true. Here is a picture of me the day I left for college. I was so proud of myself when I got on that train. Now I am grown up and I work with sea turtles in Hawaii. I'm sure glad I did not let a bunch of excuses stand in my way. All right, so if you ever want to decide whether something is an excuse or not, you can use this list right here to check off whether you think it qualifies it as an excuse or not. All right, and so in this book that we read, what was wrong with the main character? What did he want to be? That's right, he wanted to be a marine biologist. And he kept hearing all these messages from everybody, and sometimes we have that same problem. Like somebody will be like, oh, you have to be really smart to do that, or that takes a really long time, or I don't know if we have enough money to do that. And so sometimes we let our dreams get squashed before they even start. But part of what we're learning with our key today is realization, right? So realization, when we realize that God is with us and in us, and that we can just let go and forgive others and forgive ourselves, and just focus on our truth and saying our truth, like I am smart, I can do this. It might be hard, but I can do it. Then we're able to achieve our goals, right? And so in the book, what did he do with his excuses? That's right, he turned them into more positive affirmations, and he basically threw them out. Because if we keep focusing on the things that we think we can't do, or that maybe other people might get disappointed, we don't even know if that's true. So we have to judge, is this 100% true? Do we know that? You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes people might be disappointed at first, but if we're really expressing our truth, then at some point they might go, oh wow, that's really amazing. I didn't even know you could do that. So we have to remember to let go and let God, and just be with our truth and speak our truth. All right, so today's activity is going to be bubble art, where we are going to take our bubbles that have food coloring, and they should be in a plastic bag labeled craft, and we are going to load them onto our paper. And so just a warning that you want to do this somewhere where it's not going to be a big deal if some bubbles get on and remain stained, so you want to lay out either newspaper or plastic, or just go outside and do this. But we are going to take all our bubbles onto the paper. See that one of my bubbles is right here and it hasn't quite crossed, so it's forming a really cool circle. How do you think this applies to realization? So, we let words out all the time. Good, bad, kind, positive, sometimes negative. And much like this piece of art, they land somewhere and they put their imprint. And we can't make this paper be white again. Once it's there, it's there. Much like our words, once they've been said, they're out in the universe. So we have to be careful about what we say. But another thing that we can do with our craft today is we can look at our picture and try to think of something that it reminds us of. Have you ever looked at the clouds and you see something? Well, you can do that with this too. So thank you for joining us on the third day, and today's key was realization and realizing that we are one with God and that we need to forgive ourselves and others so that we can be in alignment with God. And to remember to use our words, right? Today was choosing our words.
And to realize to take a moment, breathe, and become peaceful, and then bring out our positive words.
That's right. And to remember too that when we use our negative words, we can't take those back. So words are powerful and they help us create our lives, and it's up to us to choose our words and choose them wisely. Now for our closing prayer, the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And we are grateful. Go be a light in the world.